We all know by now that SEI is an amazing project, but what is going on within its ecosystem? To answer that question, I will show you the top 5 projects that work with SEI so you know where to deploy your capital. Based on the most important data, we will see what they do and investigate their tokenomics and price chart. Normally in an uptrend, liquidity trickles down from large caps to mid and small caps, so when SEI is performing, keep your eyes open for the ecosystem projects. As always, in this episode of Phil Prince, your one and only stop for crypto, finance and trading, with me, you will gain the skill set as well as the mindset to crush the markets. Before we start, this is my 11th video starting on February 11th, which is my birthday. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please ask yourself why and do it now. You don't want to miss any of the next videos. Let's get to it. In my in-depth video about SEI, which I released about 10 days ago, I gave you my short-term price prediction based on technical analysis. By the way, if you haven't watched already, I really recommend you to do it. And there I talked to you about this Elliott wave structure, which establishes in 5 waves. 3 impulsive and 2 corrective waves, and we are lacking the 5th impulsive wave still, as Bitcoin has been very choppy the last 1 or 2 weeks. Altcoins and SEI as well couldn't break out. Therefore, we got another retest of the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. Also reclaimed this redistribution zone. Also, it is a higher low, potentially a W pattern with the neckline around here, or actually an Adam and Eve pattern, which both gives us an immediate short-term target of the all-time highs we have. So if everything holds up this time, we could look at a price development like this, and therefore getting our 5th wave. As always with technical analysis, this is not 100% chance, but with this triple confluence of the EMA, the redistribution zone, as well as the W or Adam and Eve pattern, the likelihood for a breakout to no all-time highs is significantly higher. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this. So, SEI ecosystem project number 1 is Axelar, which focuses on internet scale interoperability, and on first glance is a bridge that allows you to move funds between different blockchains. But really, it's much more than that. It's rather a cross-chain communication protocol. This means it serves as a hub where decentralized apps of all chains can operate together. Or better to say, it's kind of like a meeting point. And everyone who meets there, doesn't matter which blockchain they're on, they can share data. It's programmable, scalable, and secure, and it's really easy for developers to get started as there's an SDK ready to use. You could say that it's a competitor for layer 0, they're building something similar. Also, it's kind of a competitor to Chainlink as it also allows for data transfer between 2 worlds. One of the products powered by Axelar is Satellite, which allows you to bridge funds. Axelar started out in end of 2022, then went through the bear market and from the bottom made around a 4x already. Market cap sits at around $620 million, with the fully diluted market cap sitting at $1.2 billion. So let's look at token unlocks. The allocation is pretty fragmented. The core team has 17% of the allocation. Then there's funds from investment rounds, seed rounds, Series A and Series B, and most of it 31% for community programs. The vesting schedule looks pretty healthy. The team as well as the investment rounds started to get unlocked in end of December 2022. That's more than 1 year after the launch in September 2022, which I really like to see as for team conviction. In the chart view, we can see that there's a lot of funds to be unlocked till end of this year. To be precise, 20% more of the supply will be unlocked, which should be manageable. When looking at daily active addresses, we can see that we have a new all-time high very recently, which is very bullish sentiment-wise. Also, the total value locked had an all-time high of $170 million, which given the market cap is pretty good, but what we have to see is that since the beginning of this year, this is going down. So now we're sitting at around $140 to $150 million. So if we're bouncing here, all right, but if we go down further, this could be a bit troublesome. The price chart of Axelar looks pretty bullish. In the last few days, we had a 30% upwards move and are now sitting at the first resistance. If we can flip this resistance to support, we are looking at more upside momentum, with the first target sitting at around $1.60, which is the 1.618 Fibonacci extension, and would make for a 45% gain. The second project is Router Protocol, which focuses on interoperability for DeFi. It claims to be so secure that they are ready to pay $200,000 to anyone who can hack Router V2 mainnet but this is never going to happen because of validation system, POS economics, and bridge level security. All right, very nice website, by the way. As the name suggests, Router routes a swap from one blockchain to another. And other than a normal bridge, it automatically routes the best route possible. This way you save yourself some hassle and you get the best fee. Let's say you're bridging from SEI to AVAX. Router would now automatically take the best DEX on SEI, swap it, for example, to USDC, then bridge the USDC to AVAX, and then again use the cheapest DEX on AVAX to swap your USDC to AVAX token. Their main product is Nitro, and it already supports 18 chains and really makes it easy to integrate the Router functionality into dApps. So Router is very new in the SEI ecosystem, as they announced to work together on February 7th. So far so good. Now for tokenomics, the market cap is pretty small at under $60 million. The fully diluted market cap isn't too much higher, and we have a max supply of 20 million ROUT tokens, which becomes more and more rare. So this is similar to Bitcoin, that has a max supply of 21 million Bitcoin. The price chart looks interesting, but we'll see about this later. The allocation is also pretty fragmented. Team has only 15%, but partners and advisors have another 10% and the foundation 20%. Quarter of all the supply is reserved for the ecosystem funds, so basically for growth. And there's also some funds for the investment rounds. The team started unlocking their funds 10 months after the launch, which was in January 2021, which is quite all right. The foundation started to unlock in mid of 2022. That is very good, but the partners and advisors could start to unlock as of launch, which is suboptimal. Same goes for the private round 1 and 2. Far from perfect, but okay, it's just 5 and 2.5%. What's a bit more troublesome is that the 10% of the partners and advisors got unlocked right away as well. Don't like that too much. Till the end of this year, the supply will increase by 13%, which is quite manageable. As far as I understood, Router is moving from a dApp to a chain named Router Chain, and therefore the total value locked as well as the activity, which is basically 0, is due to that. Unfortunately, there is no data from Router Chain as of now. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have information about that. Now for the price chart, which looks extremely weird. The project started in January 2021, and there is basically just a range with multiple sub-ranges. So I don't really know what to make of this. The project looks very good. It has good partnerships with multiple blockchains and other institutions. At least this is traders' heaven. For example, this move, which looks pretty small, is 90% within under a month. And this rally is 4.5x. But beware, this also means pullbacks are heinous. For example, this is 65%. So for experienced traders, day traders, swing traders, very nice, but at least in my opinion, not a great investment. Things may change if we break this all-time highs and establish a trend, then we can talk again. The third project is Humanode, which focuses on decentralization and democratization of blockchain. Basically, everything's about one human is one node is one vote. So they say for most modern proof of work and proof of stake blockchains, capital is concentrating and therefore leading to oligopolies and monopolies. Humanode is not relying on mining equipment or stake to form nodes, but rather on biometric verification. This ensures that behind each node there's only one unique living human being. So how do Humanode and SEI work together? Basically, Humanode has a product called BotBasher, which uses its verification mechanism, and it's fully integrated into SEI's network Discord server. There it can prevent so-called Sybil attacks. In a Sybil attack, a large number of pseudonymous identities are created and try to gain a disproportionately large influence over the network. But Humanode makes this a thing of the past, and therefore the SEI network Discord server is free from bots. The project started out in end of March 2023 and has a pretty small market cap of nearly $4 million. The fully diluted market cap is significantly higher at $48.6 million, and similar to Router protocol, it also has a max supply. With around 37%, most of the allocation goes to treasury reserve. The core team has 11% and the investment rounds have around 10% each. There's also an allocation for the broader team at around 9% and some smaller allocations for the angel round, market makers, and so on. Most of the unlocks, for example, the core team and seed round, as well as the angel round, began 1 year after project launch. The broader team, for example, is unlocked 2 years after launch, which also looks like a great decision. Only very small positions for public sale ecosystem incubators, market makers got got unlocked directly. Therefore, the unlocks till now at least were very shallow. But if we take a closer look, we can see clearly that most of the unlocks are ahead of us. Till end of this year, the supply will more than double. So I guess this is the price for keeping unlocks too shallow. Best case is you have kind of a balance, or stretch it out for a longer time period. So in this case, more than 5 years. The price chart of Humanode looks very volatile, which at this market cap is not too much of a surprise. What we can see is that the EMA 200 is very much respected. In all of this downtrend, there was not one candle close above it and very strong rejection wicks. The first time we closed above it in October 2023, we got a 65% rally, then found support, again rallied around 70%, found very strong support, and then did a 6 to 7x. Now guess what? There's a downtrend since mid of December 2023, and we just closed a candle above it again. Of course, we know past performance is not indicative for future results, but for sure, with overall market looking strong, this is a nice spot to maybe get in a long position. Project number 4 is Astroport. This is a DEX, a decentralized exchange that allows to provide liquidity on 4 blockchains, and one of those 4 is SEI. It offers the usual swap, pool, and bridge functionality, as well as a governance token that can be staked. Liquidity providers are able to earn fees as well as Astro tokens. Astroport allows you to swap your SEI for every token on its network. It allows for easy and direct developer integration into dApps, and basically it's like Jupiter on Solana, which I already made a video about. The market cap of Astroport is sitting at $44 million, which is very small and actually not verified. As we can see here on Token Inside, the market cap is at 97 million. The allocation of Astra is pretty interesting. 45% of all the tokens will be distributed to liquidity providers over 69 years. 12% went directly to the community through an airdrop, 16% goes to the Astroport assembly, and 27% to Astroport builders. For the token unlocks, we're only looking at the chart above, as the one below is from the legacy project. The liquidity providers and airdrop have been started to unlock half a year in, the assembly 1 year in, and the Astroport builders 1.5 years in. From year 2 to year 5, supply will double, which is 3 years, and I think this is a pretty healthy time interval where demand can step in. Same as for Humanode, the chart of Astroport looks pretty volatile. For reference, this pump is 6.5x and this rally is around 19x. At this very moment, we are accumulating at the 200 EMA, similar to many other altcoins. So if more strength is to come in for SEI, I think Astroport can pump quite well. So basically I would look to scale in and look for a trade with a target at around $50 as well as around $89. Looking at this from a ratio point of view, this also looks quite reasonable and would give us a 2 to 4x. But bear in mind, this is a very volatile coin, so it could easily do something like this. So please, no 100x leverage trade. Scale in on spot if you decide to trade this scenario. Project number 5 is Kryptonite and enables liquid staking for SEI. Basically, liquid staking on its own is a hot new narrative, which brings a whole new level of utility to DeFi. Please let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see a separate video on this, as it's a pretty hot topic. In short, normally if you stake tokens in DeFi, they are locked. So while you earn interest, you cannot touch your tokens and you cannot use them. In liquid staking, your tokens stay liquid while staking them and therefore stay usable. So it's kind of a leverage, or even better to say, it's compound interest with leverage. On SEI testnet, Kryptonite is the most used protocol with 50,000 users and 210,000 community members. Also, it's kind of the inventor of liquid staking on SEI. Also, the project is still very small at around $12 million in market cap, or based on CryptoRank at around $16 million. It's not verified. So we're super early in my opinion, and it's already listed on Bybit. It's very community oriented, as the community rewards are 35% of the allocation. Team has 20%, liquidity, market makers and incentives is 23%, partners and advisors only 4.5%, public sales 17.5%. Team is starting to unlock 1 year after launch. Amazing. Same for partners and advisors. Perfect. Nevertheless, the unlocks are pretty steep. We're now sitting at 29% of total unlocked supply. supply, and end of this year this will be more than doubled. Starting from May 2025, the unlocks will start to get slower. So let's see how demand kicks in. Total value locked sits at around 2.3 million, which given the small market cap is good. Also in the last weeks this nearly doubled. So let's see for the price chart. Kryptonite or Seilor token already rallied 46x and then corrected 75%. At the moment we're just under the 200 EMA, so I would wait if we can reclaim it. If we indeed can and price goes just to all-time highs, this would be 2.5x, and if it picks up steam we're looking at around 6x. And the thing is, you have to keep in mind, this is on the one hand liquid staking, which is starting to get a really hyped up topic in DeFi, and it's mainly focused on SEI, and SEI is a hype on itself. So this makes for a double hype and increases conviction for higher price targets. Therefore, out of these 5 SEI ecosystem projects, I like Kryptonite the most, not meaning that I don't like the other 4 ones. Let me know down in the comments which one you like most. What's very important, if you don't like too much volatility, if you don't like too much risk, don't invest in ecosystem tokens, just stick with SEI. But if you want to squeeze out the highest possible gains, then this is the way to go. Capital from SEI will trickle down in these ecosystem coins, which are way smaller, and potentially pump them as well. Also, if there's a liquidation event to the downside, these ecosystem projects will be hit hard. Therefore, in my opinion, just trade it or invest in spot. It should give you enough multiples on its own. For more in-depth altcoin reviews and price predictions, click here and click here if you want to see my latest video. I hope you gained massive value, and if you haven't already, please subscribe now so you don't miss any of my next videos. As always, this was not financial advice. Please do your own research and due diligence. This was Phil Prince for you. Crush the markets until next time. Goodbye.